Dudes, so definitely filming my video from my messy room. Don't hate, don't judge. Just kidding, you can do whatever you want, but this is a deal. I didn't feel like doing it from the kitchen, and so I'm in my room. I had to work today for the first day in like 2 days. Had 2 days off. It's been an insane week for me, actually. I got like sick for the first time in a long, long time this week. Um, and I'm still not really sure exactly what happened. Not that it matters extremely, but I I was laid out. I was having extreme pain in my right hand side. Um, it kind of seemed like it was developing for a while, like slight tinges of pain in the right hand side, and then those would go away. And for a while, I was like, I wonder if I pulled a muscle or something like that. And I woke up on Monday, which is a day that I always have off because the restaurant that I work at is closed, and it was just like, oh my god, it's so painful, and like pain in the back of my head and my neck and spine, and I'm just laying like, oh my gosh. And I was in a bad mood. It was rainy. It was crazy. I don't know. And I've been assigning all kinds of possibilities to what was going on. For one, like, oh my god, like did I get some kind of serious muscle tearing issue somehow, or did I like herniate? Did I very, very often look to digestive stuff. I'd eaten a lot of almonds, which were soaked. You guys saw my video, or maybe you didn't, but if you check a few videos before this one, I made like a raw curry sauce that I had with kale and stuff. I did that, and like another kind of nut-based smoothie with pumpkin and some other guys that was raw and whatnot, but definitely more nuts than I'm used to consuming. And I've experienced in the past some issues digesting nuts, it looks like, anyway. For me, issues being like a general sense of inflammation in the body, like feeling more tender. My mood seems to be adjusted by that. I feel kind of heavier. I know this is cliche perhaps, but like blood sugar issues, like heart palpitations, or like getting like the candida coating on the tongue. Again, like I've dealt with this for a while in my past. And like resurgences of acne, which I dealt with some time ago, and this is actually what brought me to the raw food scene originally. Um, and so, yeah, it's a really strange thing. Yeah. So that's my babble, part of it anyway, but kind of what I'm trying to put into this video is kind of a recap of my experience with raw food so far and what I've gotten from it, I think, and where I'm wanting to go with it, and what I think I understand so far. And essentially, like I mentioned, I got into raw foods originally because I was having some skin issues, and I've always been a really nutrition focused person in my life, like really wanting to understand the relationship between, exercise, food, the body. And there's obviously so many other components to physical health and existence in general, but I always really look strongly at the food component. And so used foods to come through an eating disorder, through osteoporosis, severe digestive issues, all kinds of things at one point in my life. And, I'd gotten to a healthy weight, gotten myself to a point where I was menstruating again, because that had ceased for about 6 years. Basically got my life back on track through a vegan diet some time ago. And I know I'm bouncing around, but this is how I flow sometimes. So, always kind of looking to the food. At one point, was almost put on osteoporosis medication and stuff, and turned that away out of the desire to use food and exercise to heal. And thankfully and beautifully, like evidently, had great success with that. I had an 85% increase in bone density within 1 year, and I have not had my bones scanned again. Part of that is because I've lost health insurance and stuff, so and it's an expensive procedure, or at least I'm assuming it to be, but assuming is never necessarily a good idea, but based on my feeling and having those positive results within 1 year, I'm pretty positive that I'm in a good, situation now, which is great. So went through all that and many other things going on in life. I graduated from college, got a job, which I'll make, future videos about and stuff like that. Um, and in a way, kind of took my focus off of the food, just kind of living the vegan life, still focusing on like, okay, well, am I getting enough grains? Am I getting enough beans? Am I eating lots of greens? Because I wanted to keep some of the stuff that had helped my bone density improve previously into the diet really strongly and all of this. And also just kind of came to a place where like I was enjoying food again. I was like, I love to go out to eat, and to the point of gluttony sometimes, no doubt. I put on, when I was recovering from, I'm not saying this part is gluttony, okay? But okay, I will say, I don't know, let's see. Part of it, the whole recovering from the anorexia thing is just a saga, which I really do want to and will be making more videos about here as my intention. Part of it anyway, establishing this channel to begin with. But I've found kind of some issues presenting myself through this medium consistently, and I'll be talking about that too. It's part of, I think, a process of being fully honest with myself, and thus being able to be fully honest with those around me. And so, yeah. Anyway, when I recovered from my anorexia, I put on about 50 pounds within like 6 months, 7 months or something like that. And definitely, I think, put on a little bit more. After that, I've never been overweight in my life, but I've definitely been healthy, strong weights, like after the recovery and whatnot. And I'm definitely considering myself at one right now. But yeah, just what I was trying to get at is that with the recovery came a definite comfort with food and enjoyment, to the point of, yeah, man, I ate too much, but you know what? It was fun. I was with my friends. We did this, we did that. And I think we can all relate to that, a lot of us anyway, to that phenomenon of like social eating and even eating with ourselves. Just like, oh my God, I love how this tastes. I'm going to keep eating it. Somehow through that whole process, something slipped, and I'm looking at the food I know, and I know there's like the spiritual realm, quotes, and so many other angles that the collective health comes from. But basically, I started developing skin issues, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? It started freaking me out, and I went through about a year of adjusting my routine on many levels, and I'll be speaking about that in future videos. Tampering with diet, and like I did mention, I actually ended up adding fish to my diet, experimenting it, logicking it in my mind for different reasons at different times. But the original, as I recall, being the concern for omega-3 fatty acids in my diet and whether I was getting those or not. And so that whole thing went on. I went to Portugal, was still consuming fish, and was actually doing like an anti-candida diet for a while, not consuming fruit, trying not to consume very many carbohydrates. So basically just doing I was doing a fair amount of fish and vegetables. And then I was like, I feel like shit. I felt so horrible. I can't even tell you how horrible I felt, and the skin thing just exploded even worse, and now I'm running out of time. I'm gonna have to make a part 2 to this, I think. Let me just cut this off now. Please stay tuned for part 2 if you want. Bye.